Hi, this is Jim with ProfitTraining.com. We're going to take a look at May Coffee. Now, I put a buy signal out tonight in my premium commodity newsletter. Now, what looks to be going on in May Coffee is we put a bullish divergence in on the MACD, so prices made a new low here, and then the MACD made a new high. And then the MACD has gone on a buy signal, which you can see by this blue up arrow. It puts an arrow when the MACD goes on a buy signal. You can see the histogram is green above 0, so that means a low could be in. And then I drew a trend line down here. That trend line's been broken, so it looks like the market may have made a turn. And then there's a little wedge pattern in here, and then today looks like kind of a breakout from that wedge. The blue light, which is part of the bulls and bears system, has gone on a buy signal. So there's a lot of things on this chart, and then there's other things, a few other technical indicators I looked at that it's just too time consuming to look at for this video, but I look at a few other things. And then here's what's interesting about this bulls and bears. Bulls and bears is red, bearish, yellow, neutral, and green bullish. Now, the best setting is for most people is probably traditional. That's probably the recommended setting because it's a slower. It turns the bars green and yellow and red slower, so it don't get you in at such choppy times. Because if you wait for the market to make a turn, it's just added confirmation. Like if this bar turns green tomorrow, like say if we have another update and this bar turns green, that's better confirmation that a trend has turned. But since I think the bottom's in and I think the trend's turn, and I think this bar is a good bar to go long on, I don't mind going to the aggressive setting. So if you go to the aggressive setting in here, which I don't think you can really see in the video, but there's just a button over here that you click and go aggressive. Now what happens is that bar turns green, then all the bars are either red or green, and this bar turned green and put in a buy signal arrow. And see, I like that because that gives me added confirmation that I think I'm putting out a good trade. And it's a judgment call. You wouldn't want to use that unless you had other reasons to back it up, but I do feel like I have some good other reasons to back it up, and I do feel like coffee is a good buy signal right now. So that's why I go over to the bulls and bears and I put in aggressive for this. Now, I don't always use aggressive. It just depends on the trade, the setup, how the indicators look, and everything. Like if if a trade's a little more choppy and I'm a little more unsure of it, then I'll go back and I'll put traditional on, and then I'll be a little more cautious to take the trade. Like I'll wait for coffee. If I was a little more cautious on coffee right now, I'd be waiting for it to move up in this area somewhere and put in a green bar. But right now I'm pretty confident that this bar today was a good bar to take a trade on. So to me, I just like to go back to and do aggressive, and it's just something you gotta test and see what works for you. Um, but that's one reason I'm putting out the coffee trade tonight, because we got a green bar on the bulls and bears on the aggressive setting. But I'm also looking at a lot of other things. The MACD's on a buy signal, and the trend lines, and the little breakout from this wedge. So we're going long coffee if it takes out today's high. Now that's another thing in my system, or in my way I take the trades, is I don't the entry target or the entry signal is a very important part of the trade. Like tomorrow, if coffee would just trade lower from here, then I got to look at this trade over again and see if it's a good trade. But so the entry point is a very important part of the trade, and that's one of the things you get in the premium newsletter is the entry point to go along these trades. So thanks for listening to my video. This is Jim with ProfitTraining.com.